how I make Greek yogurt. It takes about 45 minutes to get a gallon of milk up to 180 degrees in the Instant Pot. Now this step denatures the proteins in the milk, which basically gets it ready to become yogurt. Once it gets to 180 degrees, I've got to bring it back down to 110, because anything hotter than that, and I might kill the good bacteria I'm about to put in it. And I want to speed up that process, so I put it in an ice bath, but I still got to wait about 20 minutes for it to get down below 110. Once it's ready, I stir in my yogurt starter. That takes me about 5 minutes, and I put it back in the Instant Pot to get it ready for incubation. Incubation is the process that turns it into yogurt. Now, the incubation period takes about 6 to 8 hours. And I know that it's ready when I open the lid and I give it a little bit of a nudge, and the top of it jiggles a little bit, kind of like almond jello. Now, at the end of that process, I've got some perfectly good yogurt to use. But I want Greek yogurt. And I don't want just any kind of Greek yogurt that I get at the store. The Greek yogurt I make, it's spreadable like a mayonnaise. It's really mild in flavor, and I can use it like cream cheese. But it keeps a little bit of a tang so that I can use it as sour cream. And to get it to this texture and flavor, I've got to drain a lot of the liquid whey out of it. So that's another process. I spent another 5-10 minutes scooping it out of the jug and putting it into some cheesecloth and hanging it up above my kitchen sink to drain. Now, this straining process, it can take anywhere from 12 to 16 hours, but only 12 to 16 hours. Anything less than that, and it's a little slurry. Anything more than that, and it gets a little too tart. So I gotta stick around, stay close by, but in those 16 hours, I'm probably doing some kind of crafting or maybe meal planning, maybe even cleaning up the dishes that I've just used to make all this yogurt. And at the end of that 16 hours, I've got some perfect for me yogurt. Sorry, perfect for me Greek yogurt. So why am I telling you about Greek yogurt? Are you overwhelmed with my facts and figures? When I first started making Greek yogurt, I was pretty overwhelmed too. But see, I'm a process geek, and this is actually a calming exercise for me. When I'm overwhelmed and I want to make something happen, and I'm overwhelmed with all the things I've got to do to make it happen, I have a technique. I zoom in. I zoom in so that I can name all the steps that I know needs to happen. And when I'm looking at it, I can see where the gaps are, so I can start to call out what's missing and what I need to figure out next, so I can see all of it. And then I can start to imagine how I'm going to put all those puzzle pieces together. I'm pretty sure I've been like this my entire life. So I didn't really know it then, but this technique was already brewing when I was a teen mom, trying to juggle the overwhelm of my new motherhood, still trying to finish high school, and still trying to have a social life. Today, it's actually a specialty of my work, where I help companies tackle their overwhelm when they're trying to create software so that we can all get back to the fun of doing it. But I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself. So let me take you back and let's zoom in to how this started. So I'm 19, I'm living in my first apartment. I've got a 4-year-old who's just learned how to feed herself and entertain herself on Saturday mornings without waking me up. Hallelujah. I'm working one of my first office jobs in downtown LA, doing customer service for Rivatex. Now, Milo, the owner of Rivatex, I think he's about 40, maybe he's 50. I'm 19, so I don't really know the difference. He's been in the fashion industry pretty much his entire career and probably his whole life. And he doesn't know it yet, but he's about to blow up. Because see, Milo has designed this thing called the Genko gene. And for those of you who don't remember, this is the mid-90s, and Genko jeans were these raver pants or skater pants that had pant legs so big you could actually pull up one pant leg and wear it like a skirt. So in my job, most of the day, I would spend my entire day taking calls from very frustrated sales team people, a very confused warehouse manager, and a growing list of angry customers. It was overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do for them. They're overwhelmed because they don't know how to get what they want. The whole system's overwhelmed. So I zoom in, and as I start to zoom in to their complaints and I listen for what they're complaining about, what I realize is that it's actually the same problem coming from 3 different angles. And that if I built a system that connected them all, that maybe we can solve this problem. So I built a system. And then I shared it with Milo, and Milo says, okay, let's give it a try. And it works. In the first year that we implemented this system, sales went up from $300,000 to $3 million. So of course, I get promoted to VP of operations, and then I can choose whatever project I want to work on. So I want to choose projects that allow me to learn because I'm still at the beginning of my career. And I actually chose a project that taught me my very first programming language, which then showed me the power of technology and how you can use it to boost the process and systems that you're creating. So I got hooked. And I knew I needed to get into technology. So fast forward 10 years later, my now teenage daughter has acquired this amazing skill of listening to everybody's voice except for mine. But I'm still trying to leave work on time so that I can sit at the dinner table and, just watch her ignore me. I've moved up a little bit in the world. I'm now working for Nestle USA corporate headquarters in sunny Glendale, California. Some software I had just designed and built had saved the company easily $1 million. And a little bit of a bummer too, my entire department gets laid off, except for me. I'm the last person standing. And I get promoted to manage this new team coming in. So it's Thursday afternoon, about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm on the 4th floor in the corner office, getting ready to start my meeting with Peter Schmidt, the VP of technology, my boss's boss. So this is corporate America tech in the mid-2000s. You don't really get any points for guessing that he's a middle-aged white guy. So I'm Peter's last meeting of the day. In fact, looking at how clean his desk is, I'm probably the last meeting of his week. And I can tell it's been a really long day for him because he's still trying to finish up the last bites of his cheeseburger. And I want to start talking because I'm really excited about this meeting, but I'm trying to be respectful. But I'm really excited because I think we're about to start talking about how he's going to help me carve out the next 10 years of my career. And I've got some ideas. But to my surprise, the words that came out of Peter's mouth, when he finished his last bite went something like this. And to be honest, I don't quite remember because it definitely took me for a loop, but it went something like this. You're at the end. You've hit your limit. You don't have a degree. Okay, fair. You don't have any experience. Oh, wait, Is that why I'm the one that stuck around and didn't get laid off and got promoted? You don't prioritize the work. I translated that as maybe I didn't need to leave work so early to spend time with my kid if she's just going to ignore me anyway. No matter how many times I hear those words or words like it, it's still overwhelming. And it takes me a really long time to stew on it. And it takes me a long time to be able to zoom in. But eventually, and probably incrementally, I zoom in on Peter's words. And I start to see that he's right. He's totally right. Corporate America was just a place for me to build my skills. And now that I've built those skills and gained some experience, I needed a bigger stage to actually use them. And that's really the path, that's the catalyst that made me decide to start consulting. So it took me a while to get there. Eventually, my daughter starting her adult life, and I moved to San Francisco. I've always wanted to live here. And I start to build a network, and I pick up more consulting gigs. I've already done a little bit in LA where I lived before. And I start to build a reputation as the super organized fixer. I'm working through other companies, and I'm learning a lot, and it's decent money, so I coast. Out of the blue, a client calls me to lunch, and she sits me down and she says, "Hey, so we're getting ready to fire the company that you're working through, but we need you on this project. So is there another company? Do you have your own company that we can hire you through?" What? Well, I was busy coasting. It blew my mind, and I'm not even sure it was on my radar. And again, immediately, I'm overwhelmed. But this time, I already knew what I needed to do. I needed to zoom in and figure out what I needed to do to become my own boss. And at some point during that period of zooming in, I know that it happened, and it probably happened before, and maybe I didn't hear it the first time. But it's this really quiet voice in the beginning. It feels like it's really far away. It's kind of timid at first. And actually, I'm kind of getting overwhelmed telling you right now. So I'm going to take a pause because this is so important. I want you to hear what this voice said to me. This little quiet, fleeting voice, quiet at first, says, are you ready? It says to me, "You are already a boss." My whole life, I've been a boss. So in 2012, I take the leap. I officially start my own company, and I call it The Matic. So 9 years in, I'm the CEO of The Matic. I'm actually super proud to tell you that my daughter actually is also now a software engineer and does work for The Matic. And I'm really excited about this space I've created. I'm excited because I know teams can come to us and we can help them tackle that overwhelm and get back to the fun of building software, which I love. I know that we can work together. I'm really excited we can work together and then build other tools and other pieces of software that can help manage other people's overwhelm, even if we don't even know them. And I'm most excited because every day I get to be excited about facing the overwhelm. Because when those opportunities show up, it's a chance for me to do what I do best. So here's my gift to you. If you've got a big idea and you're super overwhelmed by all the steps that you have to take to make it happen, follow these steps. Step 1, zoom in. Zoom in until you can see all the steps that you need to make happen. And you know what? In that moment, you're going to celebrate. You're going to celebrate because you can see that you already know probably more than half of those steps. And when you see it all, step 2, you can see the gaps so you can call them out. And at this point, I want you to get excited because when you start to figure that out, you're also learning and growing. So you're building yourself up. Now, step 3, visualize yourself putting all those puzzle pieces together so that you can get to work doing the thing that you love to do. So if you haven't done this before, it's probably going to take a little while to get through it the first time. And when you start to feel tired or you're not sure what to do next, I want you to do what I do. I want you to take a break and have some Greek yogurt.